Yo, what is up? Well-deserved reward 2021 kicks off tomorrow. You start picking your tanks tomorrow, and this is the new edition coming in 2021, the VK2801105. Now I'm making it just a quick video for you guys. If you qualify, if you are in your 4th year of World of Tanks, you get to pick one of these 4 tanks, the VK, Super Chaffee, T50-2 and the Super Hellcat. Now I'm going to be straightforward, make it quick and easy for you guys. Pick the Super Hellcat. Even if light tanks are your favorite thing, the Super Hellcat is by far more superior, more fun. You're going to have better results if you are looking for performance. Now, your second choice tank, this would be it, the VK2801 with the 105 gun. This is a very fun tank. That's not to say the Super Chaffee or the T50-2 is not a fun tank, but the 105 has a derp gun that does 350 damage on the standard and premium shells. Again, this has a derp gun. It might lead you to think that you want to fire HE shells on this tank to get the 410 damage maximum output, but this is not a 410 damage HE gun. This tank is more about the heat gun, because with the heat gun, of course, you get higher penetrations, 104 penetration on the heat gun. Even with 104 penetration, you are not necessarily going to pen everything, even tier 6 tanks, so don't be surprised if you do not do very well in this tank. The 104 penetration on the heat shells is the way to go, not the standard shells and not the HE shells. That's just for your information. Now I'm running with optics, rammer, IRM and a rammer directive. I did play with all sorts of configuration, including 2 vertical stabilizers, and it just did not work out for me because this tank lacked a little bit in terms of mobility. Now if you look at the mobility stats, it looks really good. 26 horsepower per ton, power to weight ratio 64 going forward, 22 going in reverse, hull rotation speed 48 degrees. It looks really good, but in actual fact this tank is pretty heavy and it's pretty big, so it is a little bit cumbersome and a little bit slow to respond. So that is why I felt like after playing it with a bunch of vertical stabilizers, I found that I sacrificed a little bit of that vertical stabilization, but I pick it up with a little bit more mobility with the improved rotation mechanics. So I made a little bit of sacrifice there. I decided to go for improved rotational mechanics. I went for the rammer and the rammer directive so that I can reload fairly quickly, just at 7 seconds. And yeah, I'm firing basically full heat shells almost 100% of the time, just so that I can guarantee get a 350 damage. It took me a while to get the gist of this tank, and that is because this tank is not what it used to be. I mean, it is the same tank, it is the same VK 2801 from 2-3 years ago before they decide to remove it. It is the same tank, but it is not the tank that has changed, it is the game that has changed. World of Tanks right now is not the same World of Tanks as it was 2 years, 3 years ago. A lot of tanks have become more powerful. Wheeled tanks have come into play. There are a lot of powerful tanks in tier 6 and tier 7s that could easily demolish the VK2801. That's not to say the VK2801 is not a good tank. If you are playing it in tier 6, full tier 6 matchmaker, this tank would be pretty good, but when you are in a tier 7 matchmaker, it is quite challenging to play. You cannot be as aggressive as you wish. One of the downsides of this tank, again, of course, it is a derp gun, which means the shell velocity is pretty bad. You're talking about 300-400 shell velocity. It is literally artillery shells if you're firing premium shells or standard shells, it's like 300 plus 470 shell velocity, really slow. So even in this close range, I couldn't hit this guy stationary with my auto aim. It's really terrible. Anyway, it doesn't matter. If you are picking out one of the reward tanks, pick the Super Hellcat, because the Super Hellcat is a tier 7 and is going to outperform any of the other tier 6 light tanks. If you are going for a light tank, I'm sure you already have a lot of light tanks in your garage. If you want something different, something that's kind of hilarious, that you can shoot with 350 alpha and fires like artillery, that's pretty funny and pretty interesting, kind of unique, I would say, and that is what makes this tank kind of special. It has the mobility of your regular VK428-1, but with the derp gun, it makes it kind of funny. If you can penetrate your shots, do 350 damage, don't waste your time with the HE shells and try to gamble with 410 damage. It almost never happens, so not worth it at all. It's better to spend that extra credits to get a consistent amount of damage, 350 damage with your heat shells when you pen. That is more worth it. I hope this gives you a good idea of how you should pick your tank and what equipment you might consider running. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.